Hi, Joe Murphy here. I'm talking about leadership development, but talking about leadership in the sense of learning it, and it can't be taught from my previous session. And I want to help teach you or help you learn how to learn. Okay. It's a strange thing to say to somebody over Zoom or over a video. I want to talk to you about true understanding. True understanding of something. True understanding. You know, as leaders, as people who want to develop their leadership skills or become better at working with people to help inspire them, to give them the courage to do things that they've never tried before, takes true understanding of the self. This idea of self-understanding is true and is critical because when you understand yourself, you have insight into others. I'm not saying you understand others, but you have a better attitude or aptitude for what they are experiencing, and you have more ways in which to respond to the other person. Some people call this empathy. I think it's more than empathy. I think it's the key word that I wrote at the top here. It's understanding, true understanding. True understanding, I believe, in some of the research that I've read, as well as the book on becoming a leader by Warren Bennis, he talks about this as one of the lessons to understand the self. And the key word here is reflection. Now, yesterday or in the previous session, I talked about having more experiences, anticipating, visualizing ahead of time what you think might occur so you can have more response time, not reaction time. And I want you to think through what I'm saying to you because we all have experiences, but we let them go. They just go. Instead of trying to understand what the experience might have been trying to give you. I want to give you some words so that you can reflect on different experiences. Now, there's another word, and it's a bad word. It's called overthinking. There are a lot of people throwing this word around because it sounds cool. And it stops people from thinking, period. I don't know how to say this, but there's no such thing as overthinking. Now, there's such things as obsessive thinking, okay, but that's a whole different part of psychology, okay, where we ruminate, okay, and worry, but there's no such thing as overthinking. If you're stuck because you're not sure which way to go, as a leader, this is where you help the person sort through his or her thinking so that it can move forward or not move at all. So I think overthinking stops us from reflecting. And this is critical because there's not enough thinking going on. People just react all the time. And they're skimming through life and they don't have any deepness to them. There's no meaning. All right, I'm off on a tangent. So I want you to think about some words I'm going to give you. Reflecting on experience means having somewhat of a Socratic, everybody knows who Socrates is, Socratic dialogue with yourself, except I don't want you to drink poison at the end. Okay, Socratic dialogue where you're asking questions. And the key questions that you can start with are my five friends, who, what, when, how, and why. But you can start with asking questions like, what happened? What really happened? Okay. We all have our version of what happened, but what? And the key word here is really happened. Okay. What really happened? We have our biases because we see, and I showed this yesterday, my glasses. Okay. We see through our lenses, our perception of life. Okay. All our beliefs, life principles, ideas about the world that were handed down to us by our parents or some authority figure, and we kept on building on it. these beliefs act as filters, and they cloud, or they actually act as a shroud to the world, and we don't see the world as it really is. And if you can start thinking about what really happened, okay, why did it happen? Okay, let's get to the why. Why did it happen? I always like the words and sentence, what did I do to help create it? Okay. And then what really happened? Why did it happen? And how did it affect me? How is it affecting me now? Okay. Affect me. How did it affect me? Because if you can get to that question, you can get to the root, you get to some of the roots, and you can start to see some of the habits that you have and the way you act and react to things. You start to be able, you can start to say, wait a minute, I don't want to carry these around with the rest of my life. Okay? How did it affect me? And then, what is it doing to me now? What is it doing to me now? What is it doing? Because what's happening is you may be holding back. You may be pausing, hesitating, stopping from moving forward because of things that you experienced, and without understanding what really happened, why did it happen, how did it affect me, and then what is it doing to me, you won't be able to move on. This is a Socratic dialogue. You might call it a therapist test, because this is what a therapist does. For $400 an hour, 10 sessions later, so he can pay for his Maserati out in the parking lot. You can do this, self-reflection. You become a deep thinker, and you have an inside that you can tap into, and your outside that does take care of itself. You don't have to worry about the outside anymore, because when you have the inside working, everything's in alignment. The outside doesn't matter. It does matter, and it doesn't matter. I'm Joe Murphy. I'm here for your success, and I look forward to talking to you again. Deep reflection.